The Fifth Commandment. The fifth mitzvah can be found in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 20, which states, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures." This single verse contains three distinct mitzvot, or divine commandments. The first is to diligently study the Torah. The second is to procreate and multiply. And the third is to remove the foreskin through circumcision on the 8th day after birth. It is necessary to engage in Torah study on all the days and at all times in order to correct one's soul and spirit. The four previous mitzvot originate in the first 4 days of creation, and their purpose is to correct the spiritual degrees of Chokmah, Binah, Zeir Anpin, and Malkut in the supreme world of Atzilut. The first mitzvah stems from the word Bereshit, which alludes to Binah, the fear of the great and mighty Creator who rules over all. However, it refers specifically to the upper three sephirot of Binah located in the spiritual configuration called Avi, which extends from the mouth to the chest, of Zeir Anpin, corresponding to the letter Yod in the divine name HaVaYaH. The second mitzvah originates from the words, "Let there be light," and is meant to correct the lower 7 sephirot of Binah, called Yesh-Sut, situated from the chest to the navel of Zeir Anpin, below its inner partition. However, when the Torah declares, "Let there be light," it indicates that Yesh-Sut ascended and united with Avi, forming a single complete spiritual entity above the chest of Zeir Anpin. From there, they further ascended to the head of Zeir Anpin. This exalted state is called Great Love, represented by the first letter, He, of the divine name, Yod, He, Vav, He. And from it, the light passes to Zeir Anpin and Nukva, also known as Zon. However, Zon cannot receive the light of wisdom from Avi, for they are the upper 3 sephirot of Binah, and will always remain solely with the light of mercy, unwilling to receive. Hence their name, Fear. Zon, on the other hand, received the light of wisdom from the lower 7 sephirot of Binah, Yesh-Sut, which ascended above the partition of Zeir Anpin in the state called Great Love. However, when Yesh-Sut stand below the partition of Zeir Anpin, they cannot pass the light of wisdom to Zeir Anpin, for this light is concealed within them. Moreover, their lowest aspect, Tvuna, is called dry land. The third mitzvah originates from the 2 stars created on the 3rd day, as recorded in the verses, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together onto one place, and let the dry land appear. And let the earth bring forth grass." This commandment aims to correct the 6 extremities of Zeir Anpin and Nukva. Their upper union derives from the phrase, "Let the waters," referring to Zeir Anpin, while the lower union stems from, "Let the earth put forth grass," pertaining to the 6 extremities of Nukva. The 4th mitzvah is rooted in the verse, "Let the stars," and its purpose is to correct the upper 3 sephirot of Zeir Anpin and Malkut. Thus, all the necessary corrections for Avi, Yesh-Sut, and Zon of Atzilut were completed in the first 4 days of creation. Zon received the upper 3 lights, and being of equal spiritual stature, they could now couple face to face. Therefore, the remaining mitzvot are all intended to facilitate this union of Zeir Anpin and Nukva. The 5th mitzvah, derived from the verse, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures," now aims to bring Zon to a perfect face-to-face coupling. This entails 3 aspects. 1. To draw down the light of Neshama into this union, so that Adam too will receive this light, and engage in a holy and pure coupling, which is attained through man's efforts in Torah study. 2. To give birth to holy souls. 3. To correct the holy covenant through circumcision and rejection of impurity. Man's efforts in Torah study, although he does not yet fully grasp its depths, involve uttering the words with his mouth, even though he cannot yet receive the Torah's light in his soul. By this practice, he attains the light of Nefesh. Furthermore, his efforts should match his willingness to do everything in his power to understand the Torah's wisdom. This devotion leads him to attain the light of Ruach. However, he must not be content with these levels, but should redouble his efforts to merit the light of Neshama. Thus, each and every day he must strive to correct his Nefesh and Ruach, and by enhancing them, he will attain Neshama. Because of man's toil in Torah, he rectifies the other holy soul, as hinted in the phrase, swarms of living creatures, referring to the life-giving holy soul, Malkut. When man neglects Torah study, he lacks the holy soul and the holiness that descends from above. But when he does engage in Torah, he merits its light, just like the holy angels. The feminine aspect of Zeir Anpin that unites with him face-to-face in a state of spiritual maturity is called living, for Zeir Anpin is then called the tree of life. Consequently, Nukva is called life. By raising man, an acronym for Mayan Nukvin or female waters, through Torah study for the Creator's sake, man elicits the union of Zon and receives the light of Nefesh from it. And if he does not study Torah for the Creator's sake, he cannot even attain the light of Nefesh, for he fails to stimulate the Creator's coupling with the Shekhinah, and this union can only be achieved by raising man. Therefore it is written, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures," for the Torah is allegorically called water. If a person raises man by means of Torah, he merits the light of Nefesh, the Holy Spirit, from the light of HaVaYaH, meaning life. Moreover, he truly unites with the Creator only after attaining Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama from the supernal holy life force called HaVaYaH. He unites the light of Nefesh with the light of Ruach, Ruach with Neshama, and Neshama with the Creator himself. As it is written, "Angels of the Creator shall bless him." This refers to those who study Torah, for they are called his angels on earth. The verse continues, "birds soaring over the earth," which alludes to this world. However, the Zohar explains that in the world to come, the Creator will endow them with wings like those of an eagle, enabling them to soar throughout the entire world. The Zohar mentions angels because angels are spiritual forces, mechanical executors of the Creator's will, like animals in our world, such as a horse, that automatically fulfill man's command. Angels are spiritual forces devoid of free will or self-interest. Thus, they never sin and have no need for the Torah. This is why, spiritually, they are considered inanimate and motionless, lacking any potential for spiritual growth. Man, however, is created such that before carrying out any task, he must recognize what is required of him. Angels, in contrast, perform their duties before they even hear and understand the Creator's desire, for his will utterly dominates them. Nothing prevents them from instantaneously fulfilling his wish. They constantly follow the Creator, just as a person's shadow follows him. Therefore, they are said to act even before they hear. Consequently, a person can behave like an angel, despite his innate selfish desires, if his yearnings come to resemble those of angels, whose actions precede their understanding. Like an angel, such an individual fulfills all the Creator's desires before he consciously grasps them, because he trails the Creator like a shadow. An analogy would be when a strong wind blows dust into one's eyes, he quickly shuts them before his mind registers the need to do so. The action of closing the eyes precedes the conscious thought. Although such a person's physical body resides with us in this world, his spiritual body, i.e., his desires, become akin to an angel. His deeds precede his hearing. He need not hear to carry out the Creator's will, but observes each mitzvah even before his intellect apprehends what he is doing. In this way, he is likened to an angel. Therefore, the Zohar states that in the future, the Creator will grant him wings, empowering him to soar above the entire world. Until a person attains the holy soul, the light of Nefesh, the smallest measure of spiritual illumination, the impure force dominates him. As the prophet Samuel declared, "The souls of your enemies, them shall he sling out as from the hollow of a sling." I Samuel 25:29. Hence, one cannot unite with the Creator and adhere to his will until he develops faith in the Creator's names and realizes that he is absolutely benevolent and bestows only goodness. if one has yet to attain the holy soul and remains under the sway of impurity, when his thoughts soar above the world, he may feel that the Creator's governance falls short of the ideal implied by his sacred names. This sentiment tarnishes the Creator's holy appellations, and he can find no tranquility, no unwavering faith to draw closer to him. Consequently, he stains himself with impurity, which leads him to doubt the Creator and his names. However, none of this impacts the spiritual realm. It transpires simply because he has not yet attained spirituality and makes no effort to do so. But the moment he receives the Holy Soul, the light of Nefesh, his body, his desires and thoughts immediately become angelic. His actions precede understanding, as it is written, "And the birds shall soar above the earth." The Zohar explains that in the future, the Creator will provide him with wings, enabling him to soar above the whole world. For he will soar mentally above the entire world, perceiving how the Creator governs all. Yet not only will he avoid mistakes when witnessing the manifestations of this rule, but he will also gain the strength to raise man, thereby increasing his spiritual, altruistic powers. By contemplating all the facets of the Creator's providence over this world and confronting the apparent harshness of its external expressions, he is granted the opportunity to pray for the reinforcement of his faith. And through his belief in the Creator's oneness and the total benevolence of his dominion, he raises man and receives ever-increasing light for the Creator's sake. Regarding this, it is written, "Let birds soar over the earth, for the Torah, symbolically called water, will swarm with swarms of living creatures from its source of life." Malkut. All this will descend here below. This is what King David alluded to when he implored, "The Creator created in me a pure heart to study Torah, and a Holy Spirit was renewed within me." To clarify the above passage, the Zohar compares the Torah to water. Just as living creatures emerged from water, the light of life descends from Malkut, called life, upon the entire world. This is the light that King David beseeched the Creator to grant him. He entreated for a pure heart to study Torah and raise man, knowing this would lead him to receive the Holy Spirit of renewal, the strength to cleave to the Creator with ever greater zeal.